Hi friends, welcome back. We're talking Tesla. I want to go over some of your comments and share some thoughts and get yours as well. So this is from Tiago. He says, I'm down 6%. You warned me, Professor, but I didn't listen to you. Hee hee. Next time, listen, Tiago. Moreover, coming in from Michael. Michael says, thank you, Chris, for waking up a street guy like me from believing these clowns. This video is hilarious in a good way. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Michael, and I appreciate you watching. This is coming in from Fern. Elon's cash cow fraud is being exposed. If you believe we will have Optimus by the end of this year, recall the Roadster was promised 5 years ago. And good to remind people that we still do not have a Roadster. And please watch my last video on the earnings report. We talked about this. Essentially, Tesla stock is down 50% from its high, so you've lost half of your money if you've been listening to the pumpers. This is what a financial summary looks like. You can take a look at it for yourself. It's all free. It's all available on Tesla's website. It is a publicly traded company, and focus on the net income and the earnings. It's not crazy. In an earnings report, the most important thing is the earnings. And you'll find it on the EPS and which is earnings per share, and the net income, etc. But look at all the numbers for yourself, please. I want to point this out. He did it before. He did it again. He's doing it now, etc. This is the solving the money problem. He's the biggest pumper out there. He just made his video on the Tesla earnings report. He doesn't show his face because he's a chicken stuff. You guys know this. And moreover, he does not show you the financial summary. I'm just showing you guys. I'm just kind of scrolling through here, right? He purposely skips over it because it would have been right here, because he goes through it. Because I have right here. See, there's this page, and then he just kind of skips over it and just goes to the later pages. So he purposely skips over that and then does not talk about the earnings. And I'll just go through. I can just show you guys. See, I'm pointing this out to you as I scroll through here, where he just doesn't talk about earnings, because a lot of people fall for this stuff. They only talk about the good stuff, and they'll say, oh, if it's any bad news, it's all FUD. Don't listen to that. Elon Musk is awesome, etc. And he just goes on and just skips all of the stuff that's the most important thing. And I try to do that first, is talk about the earnings in an earnings report. It's not crazy. He's going to talk about AI, all that nonsense. And then the other thing that's kind of ridiculous about this guy, and I'm sure you guys know this if you're watching him at all, is then his last part of the video these days, he does like a 5-minute thing for a sponsor. And I'm not going to show it in there, but you can kind of scroll and see it for yourself. And who knows? The thing that's strange about this thing is he is in Australia, and I'm surprised he hasn't been caught by the authorities or whatever, because they have really strict laws on how you do financial content over there. So we'll see. Anyway, I just want to point this out again. This is what the financial summary looks like. And if you watch a YouTuber that does not show you this or talk about earnings per share or net income, they are lying to you by omission. Moreover, Tesla's growth is slowing. So please watch my last video, and I'll go over more details than that. I want to go over some more comments, though. This is coming in from David. One of the mistakes the Tesla cheerleaders made early on was bragging about their margins, how they don't advertise, etc., etc. But now they are starting to get to production levels where they are competing with the big boys. And now finding out the reality of migrating from a small, plucky company to an established, mature company, where if you want to make 3, 5, 10 million car sales a year, then you need to have razor-thin margins, need to advertise, need to face the issue of unions, all the problems that, quote, big companies face, but that Tesla investors thought they were going to be immune from. Selling 1 million cars while you are a new kid on the block and have a certain cool factor is fine, but they are now finding out they are swimming in the deep end of the pool. And I'm showing you this guy's stuff because we have a really smart community, and I thank you all every day for coming back. And I just want to share thoughts from the community, because I know a lot of new people haven't seen this stuff before. A lot of ad channels out there are just like, oh, go to the moon, pump, and it's going to be 1 million a share, 2 million a share, 3 million a share. Like, no basis of reality. But in our community, we got a lot of smart people. Here's another one coming in from Larry. Larry says, well, let's see. The Cybertruck was supposed to be 60,000, but it's actually 120,000 now, and was supposed to have a range of 500 miles because of the all-advanced breakthrough battery design, but actually is about 250 miles and 150 miles on a cold day. So my guess is that the so-called 25K car Tesla is supposed to designing will be about 50K, right? Double the price. And the range may be 125 miles on a pleasant day, 75 miles on a cold day. Of course, the 25K car will probably be the reality when actually FSD actually works, which means never. Here's another comment. This is coming in from Raptor Man. If they do ever release a 25K car, you can bet it will be made available in numerous trims. with the base trim at 25K being a basic car with very few of the features of the higher trim level versions. I'll also speculate that the top trim will set you back more than 40K, and that's before you pony up for AP or FSD. Also expect the base model to be hard to get with easy access to higher trim levels. Seems that Elon Musk is the fan of the 3-card Monty. Here's another one coming in from Chris. It is funny to see all these Tesla shills on X during the earnings call trying desperately to repackage the numbers to success when the bottom line is clear. And again, this is sort of a reference to you guys. All I ask is when you hear earnings report, earnings call, etc., or watch any channels out there, just look at the earnings in a freaking earnings report. It's not that complicated, but a lot of them try to hide it from you. So this is what it looks like. Look at it for yourself, please do. This is more. A, Tesla relies heavily on 2 vehicles for revenue, Model 3 and Y. Yep. B, FSD is not generating revenue to cover the almost decade of capital investments. C, the Semi project has fallen into a black hole. No Elon. The Semi does not beat rail and never will. D, the Cybertruck is a big miss and the years of capital investment should have went to a future man market vehicle. E, finally, global EV competition has arrived and EV forward momentum is no longer with Tesla exclusively. We also have a comment from Super Graphics Engine. Tesla stock is going way down, but to trap as much rats as possible, they will pump it a little higher. There is no new car coming. Tesla bot will never come true. And Tesla Taxi FSD, whatever is vaporware. This is the last year for Tesla and they know it. This is why they're going to rinse the sponge of everyone stupid enough to invest in. About Musk, he is on the way out of the company. That only because he knows his scam is going to end and Tesla with it. So he's leaving and the company down and goes down and he will say, you see, not my fault. But fear not, he is going to prison like Madoff, Elizabeth Holmes, and other Ponzi schemes. Great channel, keep it up. So I want you to hear some different opinions other than my own because there's a lot of people out there in this world. And also, too, hear some things that you don't hear on the pumper channels. If you can, read through these comments, we have a lot of people who think deeply about these things and give realistic expectations. The other thing, too, which I want to point out, a lot of people probably got hurt on Tesla stock. The peak was, I've showed this, but I want to show it again. Peak was $407. Well, actually, this is pre-split, but we'll say the dates. The peak was at November 5th, 2021, and it is currently down 48.98%, but that does not include the after hours down 6%. So you basically lost half your money. And for the average, viewer out there of pumper channels, all you understand, and not just be mean, just you're new to this stuff, all you understand is price. You can see the price of stock at 207. The thing is that what a lot of people ignore is you ignore the PE ratio. So this is the price of stock compared to how much a company earns. Basically, how do you decide if a stock is expensive or cheap? Yeah, I get it. Some people say, well, Tesla's always cheap, just always buy it, but it's not a great way for success. The basic gist of it here, guys, is your PE ratio as of now, according to Google, is 66.97. And generally speaking, when you're talking about PE ratios, you want your earnings growth to be around your PE, meaning that if my PE is 66, then I want earnings growth of like 70%, something like that, or 80%, right? I want a high growth. Tesla has been saying, everyone, we're going to be growing 50% a year, something like that. So this would still be expensive even by that, really super growth rate. But the last earnings call, I think the revenue growth for the cars is like 1%. And then you have an earnings growth decline by like 40% from last year. So it really is hard to justify these massively high PE ratios. To give you just some example of kind of where we fit into the world. Actually, we'll just type it in here. Just type in like a Ford and you guys can see it for yourself. Ford's PE is 7. It is certainly true that Tesla grows more than Ford. Let's just say ballpark, let's say maybe Tesla should be, traded at like a 20 PE, something like that. But if it indeed is trading like at a Ford PE, then it would have a lot more ways to go. The price would need to come down. If you look at GM, and it's hard to, I can't tell you like what's going to happen in the next 10 years or anything like that. It's tough. But I can tell you though, when something's like wildly grossly overvalued, and that's why it's so easy to identify something like Tesla when, earnings are declining and yet they're still trading at really high PEs. GM, it's another car company, they trade at 4.88. Again, it appears that Tesla is grossly overvalued if you compare it to other car companies. If you were to compare it to, say, Apple, which I don't think is a good comparison, to be honest. Now, the Tesla boys and pumpers, boys and girls, would tell you that, oh, yes, Tesla is a tech company, so therefore you should compare it to Apple. But even by that metric, let's say you find Tesla's some sort of tech company like Apple. Apple's PE is at 31. Again, Tesla's PE is like in the 60s. It's like double. So I wouldn't be shocked if Tesla stock fell half from here. And you could even argue Apple's a bit overvalued. I mean, this is just the market that we're in. It's a bit of a bubbly. The other thing, too, I want to point out with you guys, which is really important to understand because, guys, I read comments. I get it. If you watch people say, well, Tesla made people a whole bunch of money if you bought it, back here, whatever, 2017, et cetera, and you held it on and, maybe sold it in 2011. So, the right period of time. Yeah, absolutely. If you buy low, sell high at the right time, you do fantastic. And in fact, Elon Musk and his brother were dumping stocks during this period. I covered it. I remember it was all over the news. They were selling stock, and the pumpers like, oh, we're so happy that Elon is selling. It's it is what it is. And it's funny when you look at this thing. This is Tesla stock. It actually is very similar to the Bitcoin chart. So the very peak of Bitcoin, date-wise, was November 12th, 2021, right? So November 12th, 2021 was the peak of Bitcoin. The peak of Tesla was November 5th, 2021. So within a week of each other, they both peaked. That is not by coincidence. Moreover, for those people who think Tesla's coming back, I'll just say maybe, but I am pushing 50. I lived through .com bubble. I had stock. I remember these things. It was pretty similar to what we see today. Pump, a lot of pump and dumps. This is Intel. It was a legitimate company, just like Tesla. I mean, Tesla is a real company. And I would never say Tesla is not a real company. It's a real company, same way Intel was. It was a hot company back then. Computers, et cetera, was a hot industry. It peaked on was it July 20th? July 14th, 2000 is the .com bubble. And is still has not recovered. It's down like 32% from its peak as of today. So don't automatically expect something's going to come back. There's a lot of challenges facing a Tesla. It doesn't mean they're completely going to fail. But I think one of the biggest things to keep in mind is Elon Musk is 52. If much of the hype of Tesla is based around Elon, and if Elon's out the door within this year and a couple of years, all bets are off of where that stock could go. I try to point this stuff out to you guys, mostly because when I see the pumpers, I just think it's so egregious. You have these people that are, in their 20s, backwards baseball hats, and they just speak in this nonsensical language and basically reiterating whatever Elon says and just telling you, if you just, listen to me and in 10 years, you're going to be awesome and so rich. But it's like, you're not going to be able to prove that. You're going to forget about those people. They may disappear. We've already seen a lot of the YouTube channels have disappeared past the pandemic. We just had one of the Tesla pumpers quit. That was like last week. He came back and did a live stream today. I saw that. So he didn't quit entirely because the money's too good. This is just the reality, guys. If you shield Tesla and you essentially lie every day, you can make a lot of money. Yes, it's unethical. Of course it is. But you can make a lot of money. I'm being honest with you. So it's the same with any of this stuff. I try my best to tell you guys the truth. But I'm also trying to help you, navigate this crazy world. The other thing that where a lot of people got hurt is they just got way overexposed to one stock. Essentially, if you're, watching pumper channels and watching Tesla channel all day, every day, this may be the only thing that you have. For some people, that's a real thing. Not a great recipe for success. Yes, it's true. If you got lucky and you timed it right, but that's not going to be everyone. And moreover, past performance does not equal future success, right? The pumpers will try to tell you that the growth story is just beginning. and that part's such a joke. I think the last time I checked, Tesla's like the 9th most valuable company in the world. And it's like this idea that the growing is just beginning is so ludicrous, Yes, if this was 2015 and there weren't any other, car manufacturers out there and stuff like that, sure, you could make that case that it's in the beginning stages. But, we're at a point now where like EVs on the cover of like every news story. Tesla's on the cover of everything. Everyone knows Elon's name. This idea that it's just like some rinky-dink company that we've never heard of, and this is early growth. It's just it's ludicrous. But I understand pumpers got to pump, and I'm just trying to warn you guys about these kind of things. So be careful out there. And again, I'll remind you, if any channels are talking about earnings and they don't show you the financial summary or talk about earnings or the declines, they're lying to you by omission. So please be careful out there. Do appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next video.